week's edition of World Crisis Radio. This is Webster Tarpley in Washington, D.C. reporting. We have a very busy program today. We want to call your attention to a number of very important themes. First of all, we'll be talking later in the program about the CIA British-backed Jundullah terror attacks in Iran this past weekend, almost a week ago now. And if you go to the Russia Today website, the 24-hour cable news service of the Russian government, you will see an interview with yours truly documenting the CIA MI6 support for the Iranian or Baluchistan Sunni terrorist organization Jundullah, which is an integral part of the Brzezinski microstates and mini-states strategy. Independent Baluchistan would carve Afghanistan, carve Pakistan, and carve Iran, the breakup of these countries on the agenda, at the top of the agenda. So get that story from me at Russia Today. You can find that at the Russia Today website. Look in under Tarpley. I think they put a headline on it about Al-Qaeda, because in the course of this interview, I referred to Robert Gates, the current boss of the Pentagon, as one of the founders of Al-Qaeda, which he certainly was in his capacity as deputy director of the CIA. So there's one thing to look at. Another thing, Alex Jones' important new documentary, The Fall of the Republic, the presidency of Barack H. Obama. This is just released yesterday. I had the honor of being with Alex on his show as he was doing the countdown to the release of this important new documentary. I'll be looking at it and give you more details about it next week. But in the meantime, you can get that from Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, The Fall of the Republic. You want to buy copies, and within the limits of the policy that Alex has, make copies, distribute them, get it out, get it on the scoreboard. Certainly the Obama Deception, released back in May of this year, was a turning point in breaking the Obama magic, breaking the hysteria, breaking the media lockstep, and opening up spaces for constructive resistance against Obama. And, of course, most resistance against Obama tends to be constructive, at least if it blocks these nefarious initiatives coming from the Obama regime. We've also got, and I'll be talking to you about this a little bit later, a 5-point program on 2 pages. It's suitable for mass leaflet use. It's in the final stages of editing. I'm going to give you the main points of this. 30 million productive jobs, 30 million new productive jobs for the United States to rebuild infrastructure, rebuild industry and agriculture, the program to end the economic depression here and by implication worldwide. Strong international element in it, but it starts right here with 30 million well-paid productive jobs, union wages, not minimum wage garbage, but living wage jobs under the Davis-Bacon Act, so you get full union pay scales no matter where you are. So that's coming up later on in the program. But now let's turn to something that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks. You'll recall that on the evening of October 5th, 2009, we had this dramatic debate in the Parliament of Iceland, the Alþingi in Reykjavik, about this outrageous extortion and blackmail being attempted by the discredited, hated, and moribund Gordon Brown regime in Great Britain and the reactionary Balkenende gang there in The Hague in the Netherlands. They want to extort $6 billion from the 330,000 people of Iceland. And the only answer, of course, is no, nix, nada. And that is the framework for this very important speech. Now, it was a debate called by the Social Democratic and left-green government of Iceland. Social Democrats very negative on all of these main points. They want to pay. They're servile. They grovel. They're just like the Social Democrats in the Weimar Republic who said, yeah, we want to pay the reparations so we can be respectable. Well, you can't be respectable at that price. You can't destroy your country's economic future. So in the context of this, we have the intervention by Birgitta Jónsdóttir of the parliamentary faction of the movement in the Icelandic parliament, October 5th, 2009. This text is up on the Internet. It's been translated, I think, very well into English. This is a real historical document. It is a masterpiece of political and economic reasoning. It also has elements that you could call poetic, even lyric. Let's give you some samples of this. The headlines, of course, being the discussion of the International Monetary Fund, get them out. Debt moratorium, time to consider it, probably time to do it. Tobin tax, time to do it for sure. So she starts off saying, Madam President, dear countrymen, we have a choice to make. You're never faced with one way or one solution. To assert that is a testimony to the incredible tunnel vision on the reality that we live in. We are far from being the first and only nation that has had to deal with crisis and economic collapse. Perhaps what makes our position unique is that we are in an economic war, a war with nations that are using their positions of power to get what they want. Does that mean that all other avenues are closed? Are there perhaps other possibilities than chaining us to the burdens of foreign debt far into the future? And she says, it certainly makes sense to lower our interest rate payments as soon as possible. But is there another way? Why can't we look at, or at least discuss, the possible solution of declaring a debt moratorium? The numbers I hear on the national debt are so huge and such a high percentage of our GDP that according to all the standards we use, we are technically bankrupt. Is it maybe better to face reality before it is too late? Is it maybe better for our nation to take the crunch immediately instead of continuously adding to our foreign debt, by implication borrowing more? Do we want to offer our children the hopeless conditions that many underdeveloped countries have had to offer their future generations? Do we want to be just another country that does not do anything other than pay off interest on foreign debts? What is the worst thing that could happen if we declare debt moratorium? Will the sky fall? Will we starve? Will we never again be able to get loans from the international community? Of course not. And then she goes through the various kinds of advice that have been offered. We have heard from many experts the horrendous tales of the International Monetary Fund. These experts warn us against continuing on the road we're on. Do these fine individuals know what they are talking about? One of them is a Nobel Prize winner in economics and has worked for the IMF for a long time. Another was an economic hitman, and yet another is a world-renowned economist. Some experts have proposed that we join other nations that have defied the International Monetary Fund, or at least seek advice from nations that have fared badly under IMF conditionalities. Will we be able to preserve economic independence if we continue to believe that the only possible solution to the debt problem is to create more debt? People who are dealing with excessive consumption of some sort should probably not use this cure, since the solution seems to consume so much more than the cure over the consumption. I don't understand this methodology. She goes on to say that if we continue to go on the current course, the Icelandic nation will be crushed under the interest burdens of foreign debt. Payment of foreign debt will take a big chunk of our economy and our GDP. The government proposes two ways out of the problem: slashing the welfare state and increasing taxes, and both of these are unacceptable. We'll have some more of this landmark, historic speech by Birgitta Jónsdóttir to the All Thing when we come back here on World Crisis Radio.